Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. This card reading from the Cosmic Consciousness Ascension deck, so interesting given the energies that we've been in and how Ariane has been framing these shifts, especially in our brain, as we are moving through this natural path of evolution, which I call ascension. These channeled cards were created to support your ascension journey and helping with empowerment. Now, while this reading is for the final quarter, it is, of course, timeless because the cards have healing energy through the light language that creates shift through your higher self. I was guided to choose two cards for this reading, and the first is a Pleiadian card, and that whole suit is all about expansion. And the second was a Lyran card, so it's about awareness. So the overall focus feels like the expansion of the first card is supported by deeper awareness with the second card, which makes so much sense. So the first card is brain circuitry. This Pleiadian card, all about expansion of our brain circuitry, which of course really blew my mind of how pertinent this card is because we just finished about a 5-month really intense focus on mental flow with Ariane talking about how our brain is integrating what they simplify as the tri-wave flow of the mind, where the subconscious is connecting more directly with the conscious mind. And as we've elevated our vibration to a higher percentage of less unconscious trauma, we're able to attune into the superconscious more adeptly from the conscious state, which is what all of this physicality is about, is utilizing that conscious linear mind. And now that's integrating more directly with the higher aspect flow of the subconscious, which becomes that superconscious. And this also activates the zeal point chakra, and of course, affecting the chakras from the throat to the soul star more intensely. Even though that's not all that's affected. Of course, it's going to affect the whole you. Now, you can find more information on this in my monthly videos. So I will put a link to the playlist below where there's reference to all of those different months of a lot of mental focus and how this is building up to this final quarter. There is actually a lot to talk about from the booklet for brain circuitry. One important aspect that it mentions is our neural patterning of habit forming. And this is a positive attribute with healthy habits like nutrition, exercise, rest, play, creativity. But of course, it can be a hindrance with negative habits. And since we live in the realm of constant change, this Pleiadian history actually supports our expansion by their Akashic information, which is within us as well, of moving more quickly through ascension by realizing that they benefited when they didn't just avoid the negative, they integrated it into the wisdom of lesson learned. That meant greater courage, more willingness to allow the heart to express and to follow the heart. And there's a mantra in the booklet that I really love. It was so perfect for this. It says, "Be still and allow your heart to inform your brain." This is so important to elevate the brain from just linear focus, which is helpful. It's necessary to navigate this realm, into the infinite mind, that super conscious access. We do that through stillness, meditation, listening to your body, listening to your heart, and allowing that heart-mind connection that supports your positive changes in your brain circuitry because it's following your heart, your infinite engine of creation. And your mind is a brilliant mechanism of linear understanding, linear learning, and navigating the physical realm. So when you combine that with the openness of new potential and the loving support of your heart, you're open to change. And that was actually another important topic in the booklet, relaxing into change. Because the ego will resist change. It's safer to stay the same than risk change. And often this is an unconscious reaction that can result in self-sabotage, can result in damaging emotional spewing or suppression and stagnation. So that self-love and soothing the self through change supports a shift into more of that positive neural patterning, that brain circuitry that enhances your life experiences and helps you move through the constant of change with more grace and ease. And this card is a powerful ally for all of those positive changes that you're wanting to create in this realm. And the second card takes our brain changes and that heart-mind connection to the next level. This Lyran card is empathy. So to support our brain enhancement, having greater awareness, and therefore, understanding of our empathy is part of opening to a greater connection with life from a place of courage, wisdom, healthy boundaries. Many of the same principles that we just discussed apply because your empathy is an indicator of your advanced connection, which is the overall energy focus of the year as we deepen our inner connection so that the human and higher self are more integrated. And that shifts how we connect with life. And connecting with life is constant and it's more intense for empaths. So it's important to be aware and making choices of connection that are healthy for you, even if they aren't all easy. It's the path of understanding. Even as you might disagree, you might create in another direction from someone else, but this is imperative for life because it is the empaths that will inherit the earth. It's an advanced evolution for humanity so that we aren't continuing to be led by non-empathetic leaders, structures, and norms. But collectively, that is a shift through time. And that occurs by you as an empath becoming empowered and living that in your life, rippling it out into the field of information that we are all immersed in. And as you hear me say in almost every video now, because Ariane has been saying this for many years, but it is go time now. When the loving ones are boldly leading their lives, that's when the world really changes. It's the empaths boldly leading their lives. That's when the world really changes. Get your energy into your life, and therefore it flows into this world. And that's very different than living by default, like the disempowerment narratives would have us do. Because as a healthy empath, you nurture your needs so that you are sharing and supporting, which is natural for empaths. You're sharing and supporting from empowerment, not depletion. Now, in the post, I'm actually going to talk about the card that was on the bottom of the deck, which I always just like to look at as an adjunct to the reading. And it was an interesting support on many levels, but the the main part of this reading is the brain circuitry and the empathy, so that we are really integrating that heart-mind connection. So I'll put a link to that below, along with the playlist of all of the monthly energies. But here, I want you to see the cards as they were pulled, because the brain circuitry card was upside down, which in this deck usually means more focus on that topic. But I was struck at how they really had some similarities in shape and flow, even though they're from different suits. It actually reminded me of the hourglass spiraling flow. And of course, this is our Merkaba flow. It is the natural flow of this spiral galaxy that we live in. So it's a very important part of our physicality, and especially the energy behind what creates the flow is that spiral. So in just a moment, we'll put both cards upright on the screen with some music for you to allow the light language to support your shift. And as you're observing the cards, which you can do with your eyes open, you can do it with your eyes closed, you'll still receive the energies. Just see what you notice, because you will release and activate for your unique highest good in the moment. And if it feels positive and good, you're amplifying. If it feels negative or it's bringing up some fear, then you're releasing. So just see what you notice as your higher self is supporting positive shifts into advanced brain circuitry of your infinite mind and healthy empathy. So take a nice, relaxing breath and enjoy the light language.